Hello and welcome back to Lorcana with your kids. Here for our second installment. My name is Mike. I go by Disney Dad Canada on Instagram, social media, stuff like that. So I'd love for you to follow along. I know people often ask for people to subscribe to their channels, and I would appeal to folks on that as well. We got 28 unique views and 4 subscribers yesterday. So that's a win in my book, not knowing anything about this stuff and just wanted to get on and share my thoughts about a collecting and gameplay passion that I've developed with my family in Disney Lorcana. So today we're going to go, it'll just be a short video there about, we talked a little bit yesterday about developing playstyle strategies, how to start with gateway, make your way to starter or single player decks, and then into building your own deck on a low level endeavor. So today we're going to talk about, well, you probably came here from opening packs, likely, unless you were gifted a gateway product, in which case it's very pure and wholesome. But a lot of us, especially parents in my age group in the 40 plus, you're likely a collector of some sort beforehand and are open to the idea, or you collected Pokemon as a kid or something like that, but you've had exposure to opening packs of cards and you want to get your kids involved. That's probably why you're here. So we got the Reign of Jafar background there. That's the set number 8 that's going to be coming out May 30th in your local game store. So that'll actually be fun. They unveiled some of the product packaging. Different things. This will be kind of fun. The Illuminer's Quest. I didn't get a chance to try the one at Ursula Returns. Probably going to pick that up on the cheap on Facebook Marketplace if I can and try that out. Highly recommended from fellow players, but this is like a multiplayer where you play against Jafar and try and defeat him, and I assume try and take back the Hexwell crown there. So that looks like it's fun. Cool accessories. They did a good job picking out Sorcerer Mickey and Tinkerbell there, and some interesting looking playmats. Nothing like my Winnie the Pooh one, but I digress. So let's say you've got a pack of cards. First of all, if you're not too sure what you should be looking for, here we go. We're taking this from lorcanaplayer.com, but this is the breakdown. So this will be a little bit more of a collector lean video, but you can make your own applications to building your own decks and some of the early strategy I set forth in the last video. But really, if you open your standard booster pack of cards, so a pack of cards will likely come in one of 3 different formats. It will come out of a booster pack, booster box there, and it'll be just like your regular standard style pack. They also have individual sealed booster packs where they're one sort of off the rack at your Target or Walmart or something like that. And then the Illuminer's Trove, which contains 8 packs, damage dice, lore counter, usually a basic playmat and things like that. But we'll get a little bit of a breakdown of what to expect in packs, what are expected pull rates, and then kind of, what the more collectible or valuable cards are. Because if you're coming from Adam, I think that's something that you should know before you start investing. For us here in Canada, a single booster pack is probably no cheaper than $7 of a new set. That's probably $5 American. I mean, it's actually probably $4 American. Our dollar is terrible here in Canada, but either way, what are you going to be looking at? So really, the simplest way I can say it, the first 9 cards in a 12-card pack will likely be unvaluable to you as a long-term collector. They're base cards. They're a mix of 6 common cards, 3 uncommon cards. Now, these cards can easily be inserted into a starter deck to build upon a deck. They can be replaced if you want to keep the cards at a roughly 60-card deck, as long as it goes along with the 1 or 2 ink colors that you've chosen or that you're playing with. But the collectability of those cards, maybe a first chapter you can make an argument there might be some long-term collectability, but I think it was printed to the moon, and I really think that those first 9 card slots that you get in a 12-card pack, you're not looking at much value, just more fun for the binder, to take a look at the beautiful artwork and stuff like that. But when we get into the last 3 cards of the pack, that's where your money makers are going to be. And Lorcana, and it's still very much in its infancy in terms of being a highly collectible product. There are far more collectible trading card games on the market right now, but it's my opinion, and I'm not investing heavily in it, but I am leaning towards that over time there will come a time where Lorcana will have its day in the collector's market. I think the onus, I was having a conversation with a guy who I think is really experienced in the collecting space. You should absolutely follow him on YouTube. It's Cardboard Kingdom. His name is Mike. Great name. But we've been going back and forth as I've been learning a little bit, and he's really open. I've joined his Discord, and followed him on YouTube and sent him a few messages there. He actually kind of encouraged me to give this content creationist a start and gave me some tips. But he's got a lot to say on the collectability of it and really tracks it, at a very high level. So if you're a high level, if you think of yourself as a high level collector, I absolutely think you should go check out Cardboard Kingdom. But what we're talking about here is the last three slots. So two rare, super rare, or legendary cards, both non-foil. So what this tells us is that the last card in every pack, the 12th card, there's always going to be an art card or a marketing card or a puzzle card. I'm not counting those, so we'll just throw those to the side. Those are for fun, for sure, but not really part of the discussion we're having today. But the one foil card will be either your holographic, they call it a cold foil, just because of the type of printing process they use in Lorcana. But you would, if you're just coming from a Pokemon or a general background, it'd be your holographic card, or maybe, and that can be any rarity from common all the way through to Enchanted. And Enchanted is its own thing. It's a full art card. It's beautiful. We'll take a look at a few of those in my collection afterwards. So really, you're going to be taking a look at those last few slots. There are some rare and super rare cards that become highly playable and therefore highly collectible. Those feel like short-term windows to us. And I'm a little adverse to speaking on this because I think Arcasia's Island, the new set coming in a week and a half now, or actually 8 days. My goodness, that's going to be fun. But I have a feeling that it really will shake up the way that people have looked at the gameplay, the high-level competitive meta gameplay, they call it. And I think that some of these rare, super rare, or legendary cards might change in their value pretty drastically based on how the new dual ink mechanics and the sort of the influx of playable high-level cards are going to change things. So I'm a little hesitant to say that these will go. I think there'll be some pretty big fluctuations in ones that have been, for a while now, quite valuable as they become perhaps a little bit less playable. But either way, your last three cards in your set is what you're in your pack of 12 is where you're going to likely find your collectible value, whether it be short-term to if you were looking to sell these things to players looking to build out their decks, or long-term, maybe I really couldn't. The only thing I have actual supreme confidence in long term in terms of collectability is enchanted cards and promotional cards and things like that. Promo cards are obtained through other routes; they're not through opening packs. But in terms of what you can get out of the pack, I would think outside of a couple legendaries and some serious legendary cold foils, I think the long term collector value will come from enchanteds, and you'll see why when you take a look at the art there. Just a quick thing so as I cataloged the different cards in our collection that I showed you in the last video, I did a little bit of quick math here. And in terms of foils, we got 184 foil cards. And knowing that there's one foil card per pack, I did some rough math. Some of that, this includes so this is on Dreamborn.ink. It includes enchanted cards. It includes promo cards. It includes foils that were included in starter decks. And there's usually two per starter deck that are a foil that I wouldn't consider the same level. They're more mass produced than the other foils. So I think that their rarity is pretty limited. So I did the math. I did the breakdown of everything. And what I figured is that we have, as a family, opened between 150 and 160 packs, probably closer to 150 packs of Lorcana in the time that we've been playing and collecting. And again, I had done a few booster packs of first chapter long ago when it first came out, August, September 2023. But since then, I'm going to call it 150 that I can confidently say that our family is open. So with that, I want you to first understand the rarity. And so these are not hard and fast numbers, but they're pretty well proven out. There's a lot of people that will rip hundreds to thousands of packs per set and share these values. But you're looking at in your so we're talking normal slot. We're not necessarily talking the foils, but in your normal slot, so in the rare, super rare, legendary category, you're looking at a rare. They're saying 1 to 1.5 per pack. So you're quite likely going to get one rare per pack. Every other pack, one of those two rares in that 10 and 11 slot will likely be a super rare. And then one in every 6 packs, you'll see a legendary in that 11th card slot. Cool, right? But so you can tell in a booster box of 24 packs, you are looking at roughly, if you're lucky. And I've seen 5, and I've seen 7, and I've seen 6, but 6 legendary cards per booster box is what you're hoping to get, and what you should get on average if you did it over a wide scale, and mapped it out. So, but the foil cards, this is where we start to get a little bit more difficult. So you're going to get a foil every pack, but it's more likely than not going to be a common or uncommon, because the rare is 1 in every 7 packs. So by that math, 3.5 rare foils per booster box. A super rare foil card is 1 in 20 packs. So if you got 2 in a booster box, you'd be doing excellent. You'd be lucky to get you're kind of banking on 1. Legendary, and now we're getting even more steep. So 1 in 500 packs. And again, this can only all of these numbers can only happen in the 12th slot, the last slot of any pack. But this is kind of where you, as a collector, this is where you want to hit big. So a legendary 1 in every 50 packs for foiled. So we're talking, that's 2 per case. A case is 24 packs times 4 booster boxes. That's 96 packs. 2 per case, cold foil legendary, if you're lucky. The math is not great on that. I mean, this is not a value proposition at this point, ripping packs. And that's why ultimately, if you ever want a specific card, if you want, one of the a nice Enchanted or a certain legendary foil, I can only advise you very strongly to go out and buy that card individually, as opposed to pursuing it in packs. It will be a money-losing endeavor for you. Now, if you just want to rip packs for fun, which I do all the time, that's great. But don't go into it as an investment play. It's a bad investment to open packs of cards. Let's be perfectly clear on that. So then we get into the last spot. So the Enchanteds only show up in the 12th slot, the foil slot, 1 in 100 packs. I've heard 1 in 96, and that aligns with a booster box. But I've also heard of, booster case. But I've heard of a booster case that's 96 packs of cards, fully sealed, being opened, and no Enchanted inside. That would be devastating to me. And part of my strategy is it's not a great strategy, but it's one that I like, is to mix up the type of product I like to open, to maybe throw in a little bit of variability into the mix. But so these are not hard and fast numbers, but they have seen that the community of collectors in Lorcana has very much gravitated towards these numbers, and 1 in 96 is the one you will hear on an Enchanted. If you buy a case of 4 booster boxes, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get an Enchanted. And if you don't, I really feel for you. So I'm only going to look at the more popular cards now here. So we're going to look at the different tiers. On Dreamborn, you can filter it out. So I've filtered only the cards that I have in my collection, and I've sorted by rarity. In this case, this is the legendary symbol. So in that 11th and 12th, I guess technically in the 10th slot, you could see legendary twice, according to what we saw there from Lorcana Player, but I've never seen it. But either way, so in your 10th, 11th, and 12th card slots, these are the symbols you're going to be looking for. This is where the collector gets excited. So we are filtering right now by legendary cards. That is the lesser value of the 3, but there's still some great cards in here. So as you can see, I've got 25 legendaries in our collection through the first 6 sets. I want to say there is somewhere between 75 and 100 legendaries total. Now we have multiple copies of these. I've got 4 Clarabelles, I've got 2 Baymaxes, I've got 2 Mufasas that I've leaned into for my playable Emerald Sapphire deck. So these are sorted by popular cards, and the good thing about Dreamborn is that they sort it by popularity in terms of deck building, not in terms of collecting. But it gives you a pretty good idea. You can see on the top end here, some of my more valuable legendary cards these are all US dollar prices, but they are all quite playable cards. So that's kind of cool. And that was something that I was kind of interested to see. And I thought actually is probably pretty healthy for the game if the players value the best cards, the most collectible cards the most. It's still a small and growing community. And Disney I don't understand why this isn't advertised on Disney Plus all the time. I don't know why you can't go play Pack Rush in the park when you go to Walt Disney World, and why it's not set up and fully fleshed out. Like, I feel like excuse the language, I feel like they've half-assed their delivery in terms of marketing. Like, they went hard on the first chapter, and here I see we are on the precipice of a really cool game mechanic and ink. This is going to be a great set. The Arcasia's Island set coming out on March 7th is full of beautiful Enchanted. It's full of awesome new playable cards. Like, this is the time to pop off, and I don't know what Disney's waiting for. They really should be pumping this game's tires a lot more because I think they've, I don't know, they're leaving it to its own devices. And with the powerhouse of Disney marketing, this game could be so much bigger. But I digress. Um, so, you can click, we go through here. Some of these are cold foils, but I'm not too worried about breaking it out there. For example, if you were to click on this beast card, I know I have one of them from opening my Rise of the Floodborn. So we've got a regular legendary here at $30 US. If I had the foil version, it'd be 55. Now that's not always a 1 or 2 times multiplier. Sometimes I see usually it is about a 2 times multiplier in anecdotally, but there's lots of times where it's 4 and 5 times, especially on the lower price cards or the highly playable cards. I've seen some cold foils go through the roof, and people want to. It's almost like they want to bling out their deck. I've seen that before. Now I am not comfortable with playing the highest quality or the highest value cards just to show off that I'm cool at the Lorcana table. I would much rather put those in a penny sleeve and a top loader or something like that. I've toyed with the idea of sending them away for grading, but I like flipping through the binder and seeing them with the kids. It's for them too, so I haven't gotten that far yet. But either way, but yeah, like legendary cards are beautiful. You can see the hexagonal symbol on the bottom. Gives you a good idea what's going on there. And they are usually highly playable too. Now, it depends on your deck construction and how you get there. It gets a little bit more into sort of like medium level gameplay that you really need to understand before you really would understand why some of these cards are much more valuable. Why this one is 84 cents. And this one is $30. Like there's some game theory in that, but we don't want to get into that too far right now. But when you're pulling cards out of a pack, keep an eye on that hexagonal symbol and save those cards. Put them aside, sleeve them up. If you don't have the supplies to do that, if you went to any local game store, local comic book shop, likely, but a place that sells Pokemon, Lorcana, and Magic cards, and ask them for penny sleeves and top loaders. They would be happy to help you, show you how to protect your beautiful cards. So I suggest you do this before you start opening a lot of packs. But if you're just getting you can still go back through the old collection there, and there's a good chance that you've got some. If you haven't been sorting and you haven't been assessing your collection from a value perspective, you probably got some hidden gems in there. So we said 150 packs, okay? So I've opened about 150 packs roughly, and we have 25 unique legendaries. Now that's bang on, 1 in 6. Now this is a bit of a false nomer because I have 4 copies of Clarabelle. I definitely have 2 Baymaxes. I definitely have Mufasas, but I have bought 1 Clarabelle. I've bought 1 Mufasa. I've bought 1 Baymax because they work into my deck. So we're still in the ballpark. We are roughly 1 per every 6 to 7 packs, which is about what it says. So my legendary hit rates have been pretty consistent with what Lorcana player tells us. Next is the Enchanted in the collection. You'll notice there's 4 Enchanteds for 150 packs. Well, that's damn lucky. I got very lucky. And I knew that. And part of my strategy is to not play along with booster boxes. Now, it's a flawed strategy because there's nothing behind it besides hope and prayers. But knowing that there's only 1 booster box in a pack 4 containing 96 packs, so only one of those packs of 24 even has the chance to hold an Enchanted, it just doesn't sit well with me, especially when a booster box costs me roughly 150 Canadian dollars. That's probably somewhere in the ballpark. It's certainly more than 100 US dollars. It can be up to 110, 115 US dollars, depending on what set you're getting, when you're getting it. Even old ones like First Chapter, I know they're much more expensive than that. So I tend to open Illumineers troves, and that's because I believe that the hit rates are a lot more random. So in some ways, I could probably get screwed, but I've had some really good luck. So this Badanon card, this came from one of our early booster boxes of Shimmering Skies. I think it was the first booster box I ever bought, and we got a location Enchanted. Womp womp. So cool card, looks nice. When you compare it to the original card, like there's your original one you get out of any standard pack, and there's that. I mean, it certainly looks better. It's got the nice shine on it. Like I'd rather have one than the other, but I've actually gone ahead and traded that card in already because like it doesn't really resonate. Wreck-It Ralph is something that we like as a family, but that art's not moving the needle for my family. But that's the only booster. I probably opened 4 booster boxes. So that's 96 packs, and I've gotten one Enchanted. So I'm on point. I think I did two of Shimmering Sky and two of Azurite Sea, or maybe three Shimmering Sky and one Azurite Sea. But either way, we've gotten one Enchanted out of that. This Arthur King Victorious, I've actually also gone ahead and sold that card. Again, Sword in the Stone is, I like the movie a lot. We love playing with Merlin cards, but my kids don't care for this movie at all. And so I thought the value was good for it. We used it for other things we need in our collection, just to beef up the collection fund, attribute it to towards more singles, and supplies for the kids. And I got them both play mats and stuff that they can actually use as opposed to this card. So I have moved on for that, but I got that out of a trove of Shimmering Skies. And so if I've opened 96 packs uh, of uh, of booster boxes, that means I probably opened, let's call it 48 packs of troves. So I've hit all three of these in troves: King Arthur, Mufasa, and Scar. And you wouldn't believe it if I told you, but Mufasa and Scar came out of the same Illumineers trove: two Enchanteds, two Legendaries in 8 packs. So that seeding, the fact that I even had a chance at that, and to get two Enchanted, tells me they're randomly seeding troves, whereas they are really seeding booster boxes pretty much to the letter of the law. So I just rather troves turn out to be slightly more expensive per pack when you do it that way. But I get a box too, so I use the troves to split up and sort my common cards so that I can build decks. The kids like the lore counters, the dice. I'm a fan of troves, and I tend to lean in pretty heavily on troves. So this set, I'm actually planning on probably getting one booster box and three troves for a total of 48 packs, and I'll let you know how it goes once we get through ripping it there. But two beautiful cards. This is my favorite Enchanted card, period. Mufasa, the ultimate dad. Disney Dad Canada loves that. So yeah, I was super. I couldn't believe I got Scar and Mufasa in the same pack. We went crazy. It was so cool. That was a fun rip with the kids. So unbelievable, and I pulled both. Uh, two backs for Dad, two hits. So that was awesome. Um, Anyways, yeah. So the Enchanteds here, we've got four in a collection out of 150. That's every 37 and a half packs. I am killing the numbers right there, but don't expect to do that. And I expect regression. I hope it's not on Arcasia's Island, but if we get one Enchanted out of our 48 packs next time around, we'd be pretty happy. But again, if one of these cards is the one you want, I mean, I see the price tag there. That's a lot of bread. And they only get higher as they get more in demand. But when it comes to buying singles of these, pay for the one you want for sure. The last one, I've kind of gotten through the pack opening there, and what you can expect, and the different products that you might like to use. Or might like to open. But last thing is promotional cards. So promotional cards are given out in a few different ways. They're usually given out at events, either run by Lorcana or at collectors, GamesCon, different maybe promotional things where they're selling the brand of Lorcana. D23 is a Disney centric I don't know, Bonanza, where they go through all things Disney upcoming, and many promotion cards have come out of there. Or they could be also promo cards for playing an organized play, playing in a Disney Lorcana event. Or they could be also as part of gift sets, as just like the promo cards they try and sell you on. And finally, they may be set championship cards. So I have participated in set championships once. That was for set 6, the Scar card. I did not make the top 8 cut to get a card, so unfortunately I might have to buy that one on the open market. But I thought the Mirabelle card was really, it's got that enchanted symbol as well, but you're looking at that double triangle. We'll talk more about that in the future, because that symbol is changing for organized play, but that tells you it's a promo card. It's beautiful, enchanted. I bought that for $35 Canadian shipped, and I was very happy with that. My daughter loves Encanto, and actually I love the music and the story of that as well. So I've also told you about the Stitch card. That's probably my biggest investment so far. It's a great card, beautiful card. I paid roughly that in Canadian dollars, and that's your American TCG market price. So, I mean, I saved 35-40% over that price, which made it a no-brainer for me. My kids love Stitch. I think this card is gorgeous. It might be the most beautiful full art card in the set, or in Lorcana proper. So glad we have it. These next 6 here came out of the Rise of the Floodborn D100 collector's box. So 6 right off the top. And these, my kids love these cards too. You can see the value is not really high on it because it's a mass-produced product. But I mean, these are basically to kids, these feel like an Enchanted card, and they didn't have to work to pull for it. They didn't have to go through the disappointment of that. So I like these cards. We just got them set up in the binder, and they're cool. I don't know if there's anything to them long term, but some great characters. Maleficent for my wife, Maui for my son, Stitch for the kids, Elsa, my daughter doesn't care at all. Wild. She used to love Elsa so much. Mickey Mouse and Genie for Daddy. So last couple we'll get to here. So this Stitch Alien Buccaneer foil card came out of the Stitch Azurite Sea gift set. I had to buy that for my daughter. The Stitch binder was perfect as an entry point for her. She loves it. It's where she keeps all of her personal collection, sorting by movie, franchise, you name it. And it's a really cool card. It's the first actually with the one of the very few given out at, I think it's the first retail promo card with the Enchanted foiling, but the regular Lorcana black border design. So I like this card. I actually wouldn't mind picking up a couple more copies. I think it could be a moderately valuable card in the future. This is an organized play card that was actually given to my daughter by the owner of an LGS. Started looking around for a couple packs, and he says, "Hey, here you go," and gave her favorite character on a promo card. We have this base card from, I think it's from Shimmering Skies, but we have this card in our set. So I just took the promo card, put it separately. She knows it's hers. It's a foil as well. So almost all promo cards, don't quote me on this 100%, but pretty much all promo cards in the black border design, organized play cards, you name it, they are foil. So another little, I'd rather have shiny than non-shiny. This Rescue Rangers Away I got for attending our local league night. I did that last week for the first time and played against some people. And as just a participation incentive, they gave away one promo card just at random, and I got Rescue Rangers Away. It's not my style, but whatever. It's cool. I didn't pay anything for it, so happy to do that. And then Mickey Mouse Pirate Captain, we bought one of the Costco Into the Inklands gift sets that have been showing up in Canada and the United States in the last couple of weeks. It came with a nice red bordered foiled shiny Mickey Mouse Pirate Captain. How can you not? I love Mickey. I love Mickey more and more every year, much more than I did when I was a kid. So happy to have that, and thought it was worth having in the collection there. So again, there's lots of ways that you can go about collecting and organizing your valuable cards. But when it comes to opening packs and pursuing them on the secondary market here, or getting them as promotional ones, I just wanted to give a little bit of overview of what to look for. The main things are hexagonal symbol, enchanted symbol, promo symbol. You might have something special there and it might be worth looking into. Anything foil, probably worth a penny sleeve, and then go ahead and see if it's a playable card or not. If it's not something that resonates with your family, you may want to move on, sell it, and then allow you to reinvest in your collecting journey. So with that said, I appreciate you joining us on episode 2 of Lorcana with your kids, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All the best.